John Cena is single-handedly the best thing that has ever happened to superhero television.
And his name is John Cena!
Why is that? The 4th episode of the Peacemaker show has just released on HBO Max, and we're going to be covering every single Easter egg and detail that you might have missed. Let's get right into it.
John Cena!
A lot has happened in the past 3 episodes, but James Gunn is starting us off in the right way by giving us a 30-minute recap that tells us everything we need to know. Let's just say this group has a really complicated dynamic. Number 1, Economist already betrayed the Peacemaker. 2, Myrn is acting really shady. 3, Adebayo has a connection with Amanda Water that she hasn't revealed to the group yet. And Harcourt, she doesn't even want to be in the room. The only one that seems to want to be there is Peacemaker. That's what I call a really fun work environment. The name of this episode caught me by surprise. It's The Chode Less Traveled By, and this set me up for failure because the reasoning for its namesake is funny as hell. But don't worry, we'll get to that later in the video. Without getting carried away, let's get straight into the episode. After leaving the site of the operation in the 3rd episode, we learn that Judo Master has been captured, and Vigilante's gonna have to deal with a non-functional toe. Straight after that, we got a good moment of character development as well as our very first Easter egg. Myrn is rudely confronting John Cena's Peacemaker about why he wasn't able to pull the trigger on the alien family in the last episode, and he's like, I didn't even know that these people were evil. I'm not just gonna kill them randomly. Nevertheless, they set aside their differences and mention how crazy Vigilante is. It is right there that Chris remarks that Vigilante is not as crazy as another dude that he used to work with. This is where we get our reference to Matter Eater Lad. For those long-standing DC comic book fans, y'all know that Matter Eater Lad is an alien superhero from the DCE universe first introduced around 1962, and his power is being able to eat matter in all forms. He's also in the Legion of Superheroes, and his costume is pretty sick. It's got the colors of the Jamaican flag. Pretty nice. James Gunn is doing a really amazing job highlighting the complexity within each character as we visibly see Adebayo struck by that ultimatum moment in episode 3 where she had to decide whether or not to send a security guard on permanent vacation. A quick conversation with Harcourt lets you know that she has a pure heart, but she's gonna have to make some tough decisions if she wants to belong in this Black Ops group. With that said, we know she's not cut out for this. She's not like her mother Amanda Waller, who has no regard for human life. She's way different. After a less than friendly car ride, the episode starts to get juicy because we see Vigilante and Peacemaker heading to Chris's dad's house in order to get some equipment. You guessed it, it's Easter egg time. While Chris is going through the house, a newscaster mentions that there has been a silverback gorilla captured at the Evergreen Zoo named Charlie. There could be multiple takes on this, as it could be a reference to Gorilla Grodd, which I think is unlikely because he's technically from Gorilla City. My best guess is that this is a reference to Monsieur Mala. He is a captured gorilla within the DC universe that has scientists experiment on him, raising his IQ to genius level intellect. As an enhanced gorilla, he is pretty cool with superhuman strength, intellect, and the ability to control multiple weapons. He also joins the Brotherhood of Evil. Just after that, we get to see Peacemaker taking a look at getting all of the helmets from the interdimensional vault. And that is exactly what we needed because we get an instant explanation for all of the science behind it. Chris's dad is the supervillain known as the White Dragon, and he's created a quantum unfolding storage area which expands his secret lair into an interdimensional nodule outside of normal space. Essentially, it's a magic storage room. Speaking of the White Dragon, we get a first look at his costume in all of its infamous glory. It looks absolutely sick in more ways than one, and it is surprisingly really comic book accurate. Vigilante and Peacemaker set aside their differences, and we get a really cool little argument outside with the nosy neighbor that has a really cool Easter egg to other DC superheroes. We get one of the many references to Batman as the neighbor says, oh, the Batman is a real superhero. He has a menagerie of supervillains like the Mad Hatter, the Joker, and lots others. What exactly do you have, Peacemaker? Obviously, our boy Chris is not gonna take that heat, and he's like, yeah, Batman sucks. I'm a lot more efficient because all of my villains are 6 feet under. He makes a really solid point that Batman is essentially just perpetuating a vicious cycle. Bruce Wayne puts criminals in prison, then they escape from prison, and then he does it all over again.
So that's what that feels like.
It may be a little bit harsh, but Chris technically has a point. However, the old man is not gonna back down, and he says, yeah, your mindset is exactly that of a villain's, and you're gonna end up in jail just like your father. Peacemaker is like, hold up, wait a minute, what are you talking about? As you may remember, this is a reference to the fact that Economist betrayed Peacemaker in the previous episode by framing his father for the murder of the butterfly that we saw earlier this season. Okay, we're gonna be speed running through this part of the episode because it's really late and we have a lot to get through. First things first, Judo Master escapes captivity, and then the Peacemaker has to go to jail to visit his father. Adebayo makes a fair point by saying, yo, your dad is an a-hole. Why are you so preoccupied in making sure he's safe after all that he's done to you? This little detail sends Chris the wrong message, as he knows that the Black Ops team has a file with everything that he's done in his past. This leads us to the most awkward police visit in the history of television because the White Dragon knows that he's been framed.
The police, they are after me.
And he's ready to snitch on the entire Black Ops operation. Not only that, he straight up tells Peacemaker that he hates him. He's never loved him, and the only person that he's truly loved was Peacemaker's brother. It is right there that we get the namesake for the episode. Chris naturally is like, hey, maybe I'm a grower, not a shower. You know exactly what that means.
I quit.
The deeper meaning is that, yeah, maybe I'm a person that you get to love and you grow to love, not necessarily love at first sight. To which his dad naturally responds, are you seriously comparing yourself to a chode? And bam, that's why we get the name of the episode. We also learn that Adebayo is taking Hardcore's advice to heart and emotionally manipulates the idiot known as Vigilante in order to try to send Chris's dad to the Shadow Realm for trying to snitch out the group. And then we get to the chunky part of the episode because our boy Judo Master has officially escaped captivity. We get a solid rematch between the Judo Master and Peacemaker before Adebayo sends a bullet straight into his chest. Do not worry, he is not dead, he is just very incapacitated. Accompanied to the beautiful sound of amazing 80s rock music, our boy Vigilante gets himself arrested to confront the White Dragon. He beats absolutely everybody within that prison and tells him, yeah, you're a bad dad, which was a huge error because now the White Dragon knows that he's being framed and he thinks that his son is trying to get him killed. You know, James Gunn is trying to elevate the drama in the best way possible. Okay, that was a lot of information, but finally we're at the end. Stay with me. Our boy Peacemaker is having a really tough time, so he naturally goes to meet Harcourt at our usual meeting place, the bar, where they tackle the elephant in the room. Harcourt reveals that Chris's file mentions how his brother died from mysterious circumstances, and apparently Peacemaker was involved in that. This is paired with a really powerful scene of Peacemaker reliving his previous trauma, especially being trained by an abusive father into being a killing machine early on, and the death of his brother. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more information and context into both of these scenes, but yeah, we're heading down a dark path. Of course, that leads us to the big plot twist on the episode as Adebayo discovers that there is a connection between the butterfly in the first episode and the Glentie card that they found at the mission site. When she relays that information to Myrn, we get this saucy reveal that he himself is a butterfly. The dude's an alien. I know, the dude was kind of sus already and he was behaving really weird, but this is straight up interdimensional espionage and I'm all here for it. Finally, we're done. Overall, this episode was a nice change of pace to what we've seen before. This was one of the more story-driven episodes and it had a lot of moments of character development for the entire team, as well as exploring their motivations for doing their job. We see the entire gang get in touch with their emotions and explore their past, even if that means that they're going to mess up their future together. That last reveal took me by surprise because I thought that Mur was actually trying to become a genuinely good person, but it turns out he's just an alien. Not sure about you guys, but I get the feeling this is getting to the point that the White Dragon will be escaping from prison and getting into his iconic costume to fight the Peacemaker, which is I am all here for it as I love father and son battles. Truthfully, I wouldn't say this is the best episode in the series, but I really enjoyed it from start to finish, so I'm gonna give it a solid flat 8.0 out of 10. Hey, it did its job. The next episode is coming out on January 27th at 12 a.m. Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you hit that like button, share this with a friend, let me know what your favorite moment in the episode was, and make sure to hit that subscribe button with the notifications on so you can get an instant notification the next time that I post my breakdown videos. Remember, stay safe, crack a smile, and I'll see you on the next one. Plow!